Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather. There's 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 15th of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe we'll try in a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for next 4 weeks. Gets us into the beginning of December. I shall get to that for you in a moment. Just say about the first. The video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, so check out that bit if you'd like to do that. Like, share, and subscribe on both of today's videos, and thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone. Right, the 2025 calendar is selling fast, so we have only got like 6 or 7 calendars left now actually in total. So if you would like to get your hands on the GavsWeatherVids 2025 calendar, I would get in as quickly as you can, because I think they're going to be sold out probably by the end of the week. So thank you so much everybody for buying the calendar, embracing and supporting our amazing GavsWeatherVids viewer photography 2025 calendar. It's been an awesome project to work on, and I'm so pleased, but so many of you have embraced this and brought this amazing product. So thank you so much everybody for that. Thanks so much to James098 for designing our calendar. Thank you to all of you for submitting your photos. And as I said, we've still got a few left, but we are selling the calendars very quickly. So again, if you want a calendar, then I would get in as quickly as you can. You need to send £12.50 to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal account. This is the paypal.me page for GavsWeatherVids. Just sign in to your PayPal account, send £12.50 with your name and address, and we shall get the calendar out to you. Thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everybody. It's been an absolutely amazing project. Right, let's start off in the Tropical Atlantic then with the video. So we have now got Tropical Storm Raphael, which is giving maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour with a minimum set pressure of 993 millibars. If we click on Raphael and go here, we can see that this is predicted to become a hurricane by tomorrow. So current position of Tropical Storm Raphael is just there. By tomorrow, it's Hurricane Raphael heading northeastwards, and then it gets downgraded off the Gulf Coast of America by the weekend into a tropical storm, but will still be, of course, landing a significant punch in terms of very strong winds and heavy rain. Let's see how strong this is forecast to get. So we need to go to discussion. And this is going to be giving maximum sustained winds of 90 miles per hour at its peak in around 36 to 60 hours time. That's a high-end Category 1, so really quite a significant storm, and not beyond the realms of impossibility, but it might get to Category 2 actually. It doesn't have to put on that much more in the way of maximum sustain to get to Category 2 hurricane. So significant storm, another hurricane in this pretty active hurricane season, and we shall keep you updated on all of the developments with Raphael. Right, coming back home, central temperature is now sitting at 10.4. That is 3.9 degrees above the 61 to 99 average. That is provisional to yesterday, so the 4th of November. Very mild first week to November, isn't it? And staying that way for the time being as well. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. We're looking at rugby today. Red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for rugby, and we're going to be above average with the upper air temperatures over the next week to 10 days. So from about the 5th of November, just here, to about 15th of November, just there, solidly above the long-term 30-year average. Into the third week of November, we find the upper air temperature coming down closer to average. So there is a bit of a cooling trend showing up there into the extended range. But of course, that is unreliable time frame stuff. And, it's a relatively strong signal because we see the ensemble mean, the white line, moving downwards as well. But there is a lot of scatter still within that. We've got mild ensemble members up here, got cold ensemble members down there. So the third week of November, I think, is a little bit up the ground, but probably a cooling trend. Precipitation-wise, going to be more or less completely dry over the next week to 10 days as well. There will be pockets of light rain, drizzle, a few showers knocking about, but basically dry for the next week to 10 days. More away precipitation spikes into the third week of November, into the second half of the month. As we're cooling down, it looks like we get more in the way of precipitation. But again, that is a long way off its extended range and is therefore unreliable. Temperature anomalies from the 5th to the 13th of November above average, not just for the UK and Ireland, but through most parts of Europe. And precipitation anomalies from the 5th to 13th of November very significantly and substantially drier than normal. Latest wind map from earth.nullschool.net shows that we've got high pressure sitting over and to the east of us today. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic. No, once again, we are high and dry. Right, that takes us very nicely through to the chart data. So this is our latest UK Met Euro run is looking for... Sorry everyone. This is our latest UK Met Euro run is looking at midnight on Friday. High pressure to the east, low pressure out in the Atlantic being blocked from coming in from the west and drawing up that mild subwind. So basically the same setup that we're in right now. Into weekend, bit of a low coming into the northwest. Could bring some showery bursts of rain and possibly some quite strong winds to Scotland. But further south, high pressure remains in the ascendancy. And that's the setup as we get to the end of the UK Met Euro run. Gets us next Tuesday, 12th November. High pressure back in strongly from the southwest then. So the south never turns unsettled. The north does turn a little bit more mixed over the weekend. But that high pressure then starts building back northwards next week. Icon again drawing up that southerly flow on Friday with high pressure to the east as we head on into the weekend. Well, a little bit unsettled for Scotland Northern Ireland with some fairly strong winds and some rain, mostly dry though with a ridge down in the south. Then high pressure strengthening as we go through into the early part of next week before it begins to pull out to the west. We start to bring down more of a northwesterly flow. That's not especially cold. Most of the cold air of that is going into Scandinavia, but it would be, it would clear the cold wave, so it would clear away all of the anticyclonic gloom and finally start to stir up the atmosphere a little bit. So brighter skies would be the main upshot of that, I think. Of course, if high pressure went any further west and north, then we would probably start tapping in to that northerly. So a bit of a change with Icon by the very end. This is how the KMA is looking. Again, high pressure over to the east of the country at the end of the week. Into the weekend, a little bit unsettled in the north, but mostly dry for the rest of the country with high pressure building. And then on into next week, the high pressure eases way to the west, so we get a trough sitting to the east. And we start to bring in some cooler or colder air from the east with the risk of maybe some showery burst rain. Actually, the KMA turns more unsettled around the middle part of November, so that's quite a significant change. So not only colder, but also more unsettled with the KMA around the middle part of the month, with probably outbreaks of rain. And quite cold rain at that. We end up with this ridge, 17th of November, from the southwest to the northeast, and still bringing quite a chilling east or northeasterly flow. Rather different KMA today. We have a GFS midnight run is looking once more. We've got high pressure over to the east country on Friday. A little bit mixed, perhaps for the northwest over the weekend, but basically high pressure is in control, and it's in control into next week as well, all the way up to about day 10. We're high and dry at 1,030 millibars. Now, just beyond that, the high pressure begins to slip southwards day 11, Saturday 16th of November, and we start to bring some stronger winds in from the Atlantic. So that would stir up the atmosphere a little bit and clear out a lot of the anticyclonic gloom. Still, the high pressure influence to the south, a little bit mixed to the north, and all looking quite mild. That's how we end up with a GFS midnight run, 21st November as far as we get to. bringing the wind in from like a westerly or a northwesterly direction. So it will certainly clear the cobwebs away, and it could be a bit showery up in the north. And then the GFS 6 there, by comparison, all much of a muchness for the end of the week and the weekend. Also into the start of next week as well, 1040 millibar area of high pressure sitting right over top of the country there next Tuesday. So obviously there will be a lot of dry and fine weather with that. Heading on up towards day 10. High pressure remains in control. Just starts to ease a little bit further northwards, though, possibly bringing in some slightly cooler air from the east and maybe clearing out quite a bit of the anticyclonic gloom as well. And then quite a significant change around the 17th of November. This deep low around Iceland starts to barrel in from off the Atlantic, and that eventually leads us into what looks like a rather more unsettled pattern with winds in from the west, showering outbreaks of rain, and quite coolish temperatures as well. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and get them to subscribe too. We thank you so much everybody for doing that for us. Thank you so much everybody. It's unbelievable. We only need to put on around, I reckon it's about 60 subscribers now. That's all to get ourselves to 19k. We're on the final grind to 19k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbour, tell your doctor, your vicar, tell your mother-in-law, if you dare to subscribe, that'd be absolutely awesome. Thank you for doing that. Right, okay, GM on Friday, high pressure to the east and drawing up this southerly to southeasterly flow into the weekend. Turns a little bit showery before the high pressure, that's for the north, not for the south, and then that's before high pressure comes back through the early part of next week. So next week, 1040 millibar intense area of high pressure right over top of UK and Ireland, keeping the prolonged spell of settled weather going. By day 10, just a hint that the high pressure is trying to pull out to the west and maybe drop in more of a northerly type flow. But, you know, we're still high and dry at 1030 millibars up to day 10 there. And then lastly, we've got the ECM on Friday with high pressure to the east, bringing up that very mild, if not quite warm, southerly flow into the weekend. A little bit showery to the northwest, but otherwise a lot of fine weather for the south. And early next week, high pressure re-strengthens across the country at 1040 millibars. High pressure vest goes on then up to day 10, gets us to the 15th of November. High pressure right over top of the country. Probably becomes a slightly clearer and cooler ridge, I would have thought, through the course of next week, but that is to be determined. The main thing is very dry. And this will be precipitation forecast based on that. ECM run from meteo.com. Not much to be seen, just some showy bursts into far west and northwest over the weekend, but otherwise, you know, high pressure keeping it mostly set. Let's set for a few showery bits and pieces around the edges of the high pressure. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Methods. It gets us to the 15th of November. 12 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure right over top of the country, mostly dry and fine. We've got another 12 with high pressure just a little bit further northwards, perhaps bringing in a bit more of an east or northeasterly flow. Might be slightly cooler and, you know, a little bit showery, especially in the south. We've got 9 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure right over top of the country. Again, got fine weather with that. Another 9 with high pressure over the country. And then we've got 6 with high pressure pulling out to the west. And a tropics in over Scandinavia, and that will bring in perhaps more of a northwesterly flow, almost trying to get into the northerly, but not quite. 3 members of the ECM ensembles, high pressure in the Atlantic, but extending a ridge through Western Europe. All options showing high pressure at day 10. The only difference is in the exact position and placement of the ridge. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 20th of November. 12 members of the ECM ensemble still with high pressure over the top of the country. Another 12 taking the high pressure out to the Atlantic, moving up towards Greenland. Trough of low pressure sinks in over Scandinavia. and winds turn into the north. That could become quite a lot colder and maybe, dare I say, even bring a little bit of winter into northern and northeastern regions. We've got 9 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure out to the northwest, low pressure to our east and southeast. Around that, we bring the wind in from more of a northeasterly direction, so that could be colder and a little bit showery for the east as well. We've got 8 with high pressure, perhaps forming between ice or moving between Iceland and Norway, and around that we bring the wind in from the east, so dry but cold. With that, we've got 5 returning us to a strong westerly flow and very unsettled as well, with deep low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. That's a different option. And then we've got another 5 with high pressure in the Atlantic, low pressure to our south and our east, and winds will be coming in from a northeasterly direction, so unsettled and quite cold there. So lots of different options at play for 2 weeks out. In 10 days, it's just high pressure, high pressure, high pressure. So that's not changing. It's into the second half of November that we have the potential still for some sort of pattern change. And what that change is, you know, what it involves, excuse me, remains to be seen. We could turn colder into the second half of November, but a lot of water to pass under the bridge, under the proverbial bridge, before we get to that, I think. CFS finally, so means the 500 millibar high zones break down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 5th to the 11th of November. The next week has high pressure to the east, low pressure to the west, and we bring up the wind from a southerly direction. So a lot of dry and also very mild weather. With that, week 2 is going to be the 12th. Going to be the 12th through to the 18th of November. Again, high pressure is just to the east country, low pressure out to west. Once more, lots of dry, fine, and very mild weather continuing. Week 3 will be the 19th to 25th of November, with low pressure then developing around Greenland and Iceland. High pressure sinking a little bit further southwards, maybe going back into more of a westerly flow then. And then finally, week 4 takes us from the 26th of November to 2nd of December, with high pressure to our south, low pressure out in the Atlantic, and up comes that southwesterly flow. Looking very mild into the beginning of December, but possibly a little bit more changeable up in the north in particular. Still quite a strong anti-cyclonic signal though. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let's know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. We're on the final grind, the final push to 19k. So thanks so much everyone for doing that. And I'll just start having on the channel tomorrow. Going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast, the extended European outlook. We will be live at 6 PM with your 10 to 14 day, and then straight after live stream, we've got third installment of Christmas Countdown, so it's going to be an epic day of content coming up at GavsWeatherVids tomorrow. Keep checking back for more. But you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.